Is a serial entrepreneur and philanthropist, very giving to the Tampa Bay community, and so I give it off to you.
All right, thank you. It is extremely great to see everyone here tonight on a Friday evening, celebrating and supporting our students and parents coming out and sharing your time and support for our next generation of leaders. So I have with me an aggregation of professionals and community advocates that have passion around this subject and expertise. So with that, I will allow them, say 2 to 3 minutes to introduce themselves, and then we'll get started in the Q&A. We'll start with Samantha and work our way down to top.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Samantha Lebron, and I have a disability called cerebral palsy, but I did not let that hold me back. So now as an adult, I'm a disability advocate with multiple organizations across the state of Florida. I started doing sports with Tampa. I do all different types of sports with the Tampa Alliance over at behind King's High School. They do Paralympics, they also do Special Olympics as well, but I did not stop there. I went to my CIL to see what else I can do, and then they told me about Miss Wheelchair Florida. Never heard about Miss Wheelchair Florida. I thought it was a beauty pageant, but it's not. It was an advocacy pageant to find the best advocate to serve the state of Florida. I went ahead and competed and got the state title holder for 2020. But because of COVID, they extended the title to 2021. But my platform was to extend transportation options for the disability community. But I didn't feel like there was a handbook for disability advocates of how to teach others how to advocate for themselves. So I went even further. I went to different organizations and I did partners in policy making in 2021 to learn how to speak with legislature and to expand laws for people with disabilities. From there, I went to the University of Miami and taught future doctors how they should be treating their patients and their families that have children with disabilities. Then I went to Florida Sand and taught different disability advocates on how to do self-determination and how to advocate for themselves in different spaces. And then I landed at CareerSource last year as their disability program navigator. And that is where I can fulfill my heart the most, because there is a huge employment gap for people with disabilities. So my role as disability program navigator is I help them find jobs. And these are a special group of individuals that receive Social Security benefits, SSI, SSDI, and I'm able to help them with the help of the Ticket to Work program find work. So that's all about me in a nutshell.
Excellent, thank you.
This year with this program, not only about what Accenture does to kind of move forward accessibility, but the general call across all businesses to kind of make that front and foremost. So excited to talk to everybody about what Accenture has done and what we've learned, and also learn from everybody else here.
Excellent, thank you.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you all for being here tonight. My name is Clayton Clemens. I'm the executive director of an organization called Project Focus. We are a local nonprofit that supports programs and services for young adults and students ages 11 up through the age of 30 here in Tampa Bay with significant cognitive disabilities. And so to attend our public charter school, you have to have an IQ under 67, which often is accompanied by autism spectrum diagnosis or potentially Down syndrome. And so we generally serve those who have the most significant needs. Once our students graduate from 22, which is how old you can stay in our education system here in Florida, they're able to enter our adult day training program, which is geared towards 22 to 30-year-olds. The goal in that program is to keep like-minded peers together, to be able to socialize, connect, really fulfill a happy life. And as we look into the future, our goal is to develop a community here in Tampa that includes our workforce training programs, our school, and supported living. So apartment-style apartments, essentially, for this population with supports nearby, with the opportunities to progress into working opportunities, maybe through CareerSource. Fortunately, they did that at year 1, and the human body is amazing, so he's been able to progress significantly. But my goal has always been to be able to try and serve the population the best I can. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, students. You guys are doing great things, and look forward to see what you guys are able to do.
I'm good. I don't need that. Thank you very much, though. Yeah. So, hello, everybody. It's really good to see all of you here, the students. I mean, I've been absolutely inspired that the younger generation is absolutely involved in the innovation aspect of all these things. Again, my name is Jeff Branch, and I am deaf. I also have a sister who has CP as well. So there's 2 of us out of the 3 children in the family, you know, and my mother is like a fountain of knowledge. You know, she just understands everything and all of our accessible needs when we needed it, where I could further my education at that point. Then I ended up going to a deaf school at MSSD. It's the Model Secondary School for the Deaf. It's up in Washington, D.C., where some of you may end up going. So that's the place. That place was amazing. That was a life changer for me. I understood my identity better at that point, me as a deaf person. And there were other deaf people. So I was able to see that they were able to actually end up teaching us. There were just so many things that we were able to do. Again, life-changing. And that led me to go to Gallaudet University, which is the neighbor school. It's the neighbor university right next to MSSD. And I was there's the only one and only liberal art for deaf people in the USA at Gallaudet. So again, it was phenomenal. I got my BA degree, and then after that, you know, I was thinking about what I was wanting to do with my career. So I went to communication services for the deaf in South Dakota. And there we provided accessibility to everyone. And it was telecommunication, human services, the whole plethora. But most of it was telecommunications that I dealt with. That was my specialty. Until this day, I'm still working with that. So I work currently for T-Mobile. And T-Mobile has an accessibility department. And there's probably about 50 of us in that department. And our goal is to make sure that the resources, the services, the things that are utilized through T-Mobile are accessible to everyone. That's our goal. So that's been me.
Thank you. So in the interest of time, we'll dive right in. The emphasis of our panel is to really get into how technology drives innovation and agility, particularly for the disability community. So with that being said, we'll dive right in. What role does technology play in driving innovation and agility in today's business landscape, particularly for the disability community? If I could have maybe Savan, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and Jeff speak to that. Savan, we'll kick it off with you.
Sure, absolutely. And so, you got it, Savannah's good.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. So I think this is a very interesting topic because what you find with technology is as it evolves, it really tries to address as many people as possible, right? That is kind of the end goal of it. Of course, how people use it differs from the application. What I think is very fascinating and how we're really trying to drive innovation, specifically to provide, as you said, agility and innovation towards the disability community. I think Gen AI is a big buzzword these days, but I think if you sit back and just observe the technology, it becomes very clear how something like that is really at the forefront, even though it's so nascent of a technology, how it's really at the forefront of servicing some of these needs. So for example, right off the bat, I think text to speech or image to text or image to speech, these kinds of technologies really make things available for everybody from people that may have motor disabilities where they're not able to interact with a computer maybe regularly as you would. Or even what I thought was really cool was a AI that will describe art to you. I mean, if you can't see art, how do you experience it? And this is an example of that kind of technology of how we can then produce that. I'll say one more thing about Accenture in particular. We are a technology company at our heart. We have a lot of programmers, a lot of coders, and I was so impressed to see the resources that this kind of technology, specifically to Gen AI, text-to-speech has been around for a while, but specifically Gen AI, how much it has progressed to even allow people to code via text-to-speech or be able to interact on the computer in that way. So those are just a few, it's a tip of the iceberg, but obviously as technology becomes more robust in helping automate and create those services for people that need them, I think we'll see more and more people become included in that.
Excellent, thank you.
As far as the business perspective from T-Mobile, yes, we've got so many tools to utilize for those that need those accessibility resources. We have a variety of things. We have video relay services. We have, iPad relays. We have, a variety of haptics, that we utilize in different situations. But I think that it's really vital for the company to understand what technology is out there available and that will actually be integrated into something for that particular person that needs it. Like we have these technologies that might be available to them that they might be able to perform their job. Not only that, that also helps our company to connect to the community out there that they haven't actually tapped into yet. We've been focusing in on maybe one thing, the regular population, but they don't really go to a community of disability where the market's available out there for us. We need to take advantage of that and learn from the people in those communities. It makes the company a better place for everybody.
Excellent, thank you. That's really good. Samantha and Clayton, what role does accessibility play in managing the risks associated with technology innovation? Samantha.
So I will say for, businesses or specifically maybe someone who wants to work, because I'm from an employer network, I'll speak on that. Accessibility is huge. When you don't have accessibility as a business, you're completely leaving out a specific demographic that one wants to work. Or if you're a business that needs to attract customers, you're excluding a whole customer service base by not having accessibility, whether it's for something physical or they need something technological to be accessible. I know for me, when I came to CareerSource, one of the first things I asked for was, well, I need software to be able to speak to the computer so I can type and be efficient and do my job the way you want me to. And for someone who is looking for that, they might feel fearful asking a business for that type of accommodation because of the cost. But CareerSource turned around and said, oh, is that what you need? Great, we can have it for you. Just give us the information and we'll get it done for you. So that gave me ease of mind of, okay, not only am I working for a good employer that serves the public and helps people find jobs regardless of what demographic they're in, but they're able to help their employees be able to do their job regardless if they have a disability or not. So accessibility is huge on all fronts.
Excellent, thank you, Samantha. So Samantha and I work together at CareerSource. She is one of our special and really dedicated staff there at CareerSource. We've just recently merged with Hillsborough and Pinellas, and I serve on the board. So that being said, Clayton, what are your thoughts? What role does accessibility play in managing the risks associated with technology innovation?
No, I appreciate that question, and just to piggyback off of what Samantha said, in Hillsborough County alone, there's 172,000 individuals that are disabled. And so that communication, it's a two-way street. And so businesses, rather than being reactive in these situations, should have proactive measures in place. And when it comes to the risks and for this population that we serve, potentially the dangers of technology, it's important to have, when you're developing these programs and systems, to have protocols in place, safety measures, and with AI, have the ability to use facial recognition features so that maybe those who are could be victims of theft or crime can really avoid those situations. So proactive business measures is huge, but also it comes down to some of the caregivers and the parents that are engaging with these applications to ensure that there's safety measures in place.
Excellent, thank you. So let's do our lightning round. In the interest of time, we'll start with Jeff. And you each have a minute to respond. So what advice would you give the future generation on generating ideas to positively impact the disability community? 1 minute.
Okay, yeah, so, oh my goodness, you know that a lot of the companies out there, their innovations relating to developing apps and accessibility and stuff like that, they come from people like yourselves, regular people out in the community. You guys are the ones that have been developing. The opportunities are out there. You are the ones who can truly come up with something. Think outside the box. It's up to you, not the companies. They may provide you with the tools, but it's gonna be up to the individuals to do so. So take that opportunity. And also, maybe some of you are still in high school, most of you still are. My recommendation to all of you is that I want to see you go into a school, see something, maybe you notice something that's not accessible. And then you try to challenge the school themselves to make something accessible for the community, whether it's captioning or wheelchair accessible ramps, whatever it might be. If you see something where there's a need of accessibility, please challenge your school. Make it accessible to the people in that population.
Wow, excellent, thank you, Jeff. Clayton, what are your thoughts? What advice would you give the future generation on generating ideas to positively impact the disability community?
Yeah, I'll be brief. When I got into this industry, I had an epiphany moment where my appendix ruptured and my life went on by fine without me, and I realized that I needed to find something that lit that passion, filled that cup. So my advice to you is, whether it's impacting this population or another nonprofit, another cause, find something that ignites that flame. I hope that this, thanks to Robin, is just the start of something magical, but if this isn't it, pivot into something else. It can be taken and utilized somewhere else, but really excited to see what you guys do, and I know that that passion will be there.
Excellent, thank you, Clayton. Savan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I would have to say my main advice really comes down to being yourselves. I think where you guys are today speaks to the innovation that's already internal within you. You see a problem and you want to solve it and hold on to that. And how you can bring that to fruition for more accessibility. Certainly, I would say go out there and put yourself in situations where you may not find yourself on a normal day-to-day, right? I think it's upon each of us to really go out there and find, as Jeff said, right? Find those opportunities. Go look for something you think that doesn't meet the need, and then address it. That's what innovation is, right? It's finding that niche. So certainly I would say I think you guys are already well on the path, but continue down that path and don't lose that passion, yeah.
Excellent, thank you. So Samantha, 1 minute. Now, no pressure to bring us home, but
right.
1 minute.
No problem.
What do you got?
My advice would be, again, find the need, fill it, go out into the community and talk to those people that you're trying to serve. They're your best feedback and they're also your best supporters. And the other thing is try to put yourself in the shoes of that community you're trying to serve. For example, real quick, at the sports center, what we do for some of our therapists that are going to school, wanting to serve that population, we tell them, go ahead, get into the sports wheelchairs, you're gonna do this sport just like we do it as a wheelchair user, and they get to really learn what it's like for someone using an adaptive device or having to use some type of technology to get through the day. So that would be my best advice.
Wow. So I told you guys in the beginning, this is a aggregation of not only experts, but individuals that have a heart and passion for the work that they do. I have served in the intellectually and developmental disability community for 23 years as an owner-operator of group homes, assisted living facilities, adult day training programs, as well as ancillary services in the community. So with that being said, any closing comments that you guys want to share? I think we have, how long do we have? Oh, we're at time, so no, no closing comments. So if you will, please give this panel a round of applause. Thank you, everyone.